I believe Coca-Cola. It was my first job. They paid for my college. I have a picture of their former CEO, Roberto Goizueta, on my wall. He's sorry, it's Coke. It's Coke or nothing, right?
I'm a Pepsi girl.
Yeah, you were great until. No, I'm kidding. You're awesome.
I'm
like swipe.
The soda wars. By the way, did you hear there's so they're comparing now, there's the soda wars, Coke versus Pepsi. Yeah. I'm totally digressing now. But there's
that's what we do here.
There's okay, cool. So there's
we're in the Matrix.
The drink wars where it's White Claw versus what's the other one?
Are you talking about hard cider? Hard cider. Okay, I thought it was like hard club soda. I was like, what? Seltzer water?
No, it's White Claw versus Truly. I think the other one's called. But yeah, I was reading about that recently. That's the new Pepsi versus Coke.
Oh, yeah. It's like which hard seltzer? But you can't go to bars anymore. So it's like, really, what do I pick at the checkout lane?
At home.
Everybody's building bars, and it's like a New Jersey thing. Bars at home or something in their garages. It's a new trend. I'm not sure I want a bunch of strangers in my garage drinking during the age of COVID.
Yeah, that's probably not smart.
Okay, so I love getting back to what you do, selling data, right? We're all in the Matrix, special effects.
Red pill.
Red pill. So, and I've seen you in the different worlds. I've seen you in the mobile association, how you talk to mobile marketers that are trying to sell banner ads and how they approach people. Do you have any advice for somebody such as myself who might go out there and meet with a brand or a CMO to get their attention in the age of virtual, right? Because they can't go out there and see the screens. Do you have any pointers there?
You mean it for a salesperson who's
like what should they do? I mean, you guys have been helping people, helping your clients, right? The last few months. I've seen some of the posts.
Number one, do your research.
Okay.
Understand their strategy, understand what they're doing. There's nothing worse. I've even been, as a marketing director, I've been on the receiving end of outreach where clearly the person hasn't done their homework to understand what you do. So do your research, understand what their current strategy looks like, and quickly explain what you can add to that or how you can elevate it somehow or what they're missing and how you can provide that. And I would also say people underestimate the importance of catering your outreach to an individual based on their personality. We actually have, I don't know if you've seen this, Joel, in Winmo. We have
personality index. Do you want to share it, or we can leave it as a mystery? Okay.
Yeah. Leave people wanting more. But it's from a company called Crystal. We integrate their data into Winmo, and it'll tell you, I'll go to a profile and it'll say, for CMO, get to the point quickly, craft your email in 2 sentences or less, or it'll say this person is very informal, use informal language, use data, don't use data, use bullet points. So it'll give you.
Have you tried doing that with emojis? Like this one likes caviar emoji and this one likes hot dogs.
It's
formal versus informal.
That's actually one of the things that is included in the personality insights. I noticed the other day, I was looking at it and it said use emojis, and I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Okay, good. Like he's definitely New York language, I'm kidding. New York CEO.
Right.
Interesting. Yes, I've seen it. I think it's a great feature. And I think that's a science. I'm sorry, no, it's an art, not a science. That's what I want to say. Do you craft a 2-sentence email? Because I've worked with people that wanted 2-sentence emails for everything, despite the fact it was a topic that required a 2-hour conversation or a 5-page report. And then I've worked with people that want a 5-page report for every single thing that you talk about. And then I've also worked with people that don't care about grammar. They'll take emojis. They just they put finding gifts in their emails, and this is like at the highest level. And then other people that you better check that email 10 times with Grammarly before you send it, because they will just criticize every grammatical error horror that I write.
Or they delete it instantly. they see a spelling mistake or something. So I think people really underestimate the importance of tailoring your outreach based on who that person is. And it's great if you know them or have some interaction with them prior, but if you don't, if it's cold, if it's cold outreach, then a tool like Winmo is great to sort of get the bullet points on who you're communicating with and psychologically what they're likely to respond to, so you can cater your outreach and stand out.
Something Nola Weinstein, also Coke scholar, who's at Twitter, told me when I showed her some of my videos. She was like, Joel, your videos need to be less than 30 seconds, 20 seconds at most, like your marketing videos for your emails. It's like, really? So he's like, yeah, these 2-minute videos, nobody's gonna watch them. It's like, are you sure? And is there advice now, like when you send out an email, do you find that those embedded videos have to be shorter and shorter, like goldfish ads?
So somebody might watch them.
Somebody
might like the 2-minute video. It's really a matter of personal preference. Just even from a Winmo, our marketing perspective, I think shorter and to the point, because our audience is typically salespeople. Salespeople are very bottom line, spell it out quickly, get to it quickly. But for different audiences, that might be, there might be a different dynamic, and they might respond well to longer form content.
I feel like it also has to do with the subject. Like I love, a few minutes ago, I showed you before we started recording, I shared the self-driving scooter video, and I loved watching your reaction. Like, what? It was like, what is this? What? Like, it was just great. That was like, yeah, it's natural, right? Like drones, right? And I think it's hard, like even at CodeFirm, one of the things, we do so many cool things. And it's hard to tell people, well, we've done stuff for theme parks and amusement centers, and here's something we did for a drone, but we don't make the drone. We just make the code, right? And I think that's hard to convey sometimes, unless you make like these brief, like shocking 20-second, 30. I don't know. It's hard to get people's attention during COVID when, not your house, because your house is very neat and organized, but most houses have like a bunch of dogs and kids
running around in the background.
Yeah.
The cat is like climbing on somebody's shoulder.
Oh yeah, he's starting a fire because he's being ignored all week. It's like crazy stuff.
I will bring up, so I had a conversation recently with, I don't want to get her name wrong. Kate Prescott is, I think, her name. She's at Kale Group, which does like Vans Warped Tour and all these live experiential events. You and I were talking before the call just about how that industry has been shocked before, and they're all trying to reimagine virtual events.
This is what the experiential agency world looks like now. It's the apocalypse. It's been destroyed.
Craziness. But I was asking her, because they actually did pull off a really cool virtual event recently focused on mental health. And they did it right at the height of the start of the pandemic and lockdown. And I asked her, when you're reaching out to potential sponsors right now, brand sponsors, how are you breaking through? How are you getting people's attention? I thought she had some really good advice. She said, I like to fight weird.
What'd you say?
She said, fight weird with weird.
I like that.
And I can't remember her exact words after that, but I remember fight weird with weird. And she said, be really personal in your outreach. Be memorable. Bring up the fact that this is a super weird time. See, I feel like you knew where it was going. You had it ready. Perfect.
That's how I call everybody at home.
That should be your next video, your next marketing video, Joel. You should be wearing the mask.
Got to stand out. You know that. Everybody knows me at the events. I now have to stand out in the videos and bring attention to what you're doing, right?
Side note, we did something really cool recently.
Tell me.
That, do you know, so Cameo, that's another really cool way to
love Cameo.
Right?
Yes.
I think the first I heard about it was last year.
I just love the fact that one of my 80s childhood heroes might need my $25 so badly that he'll record a phone message for me.
Yes. So we did a Cameo, and it's James Vanderbeek.
Oh, I love him.
I was very excited about
Especially from the Bee in the apartment. Okay, anyways. Not from Dawson's Creek, but I like him from the other show that he did.
He's done a lot of cool stuff. He's actually done a lot of like indie stuff. Yeah, so he did a little Winmo video and stuff like that. Yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you.
All right, good.
But stuff like that is really, I think, critical in breaking through the clutter right now too. You know, whatever you
need the money because there's no more Comic Cons, so they can't take pictures and hug their fans anymore, or go to after parties with them. So they need money. I mean, that was all pocket cash that they would just put in bags and duffel bags, like after the show. Have you been to a con?
Yes.
You have?
Yes. And there's people there. There's like you're saying, there's people there that I wouldn't expect to be at Comic-Con who are just signing autographs and.
Oh yeah. People from commercials, you know, the dead celebrities, everybody's there. It's awesome.
It's great.
So any last thoughts, because we're running on time here. What are you reading? What are you watching during this pandemic? And I mean, we can't get together like we used to at these tech events, but MarTech World is still here. You're doing a great job, and thank you for all the things that Winmo's doing, and I love your posts. But maybe share something personal, like what are you reading? What are you watching, streaming?
I wish I had some good. I've been listening to a ton of music.
Oh, really? Like what?
There's a really cool Sturgill Simpson album that. Do you listen to Sturgill?
No, I'm just writing it down.
Write it down. What else? What else am I listening to? I'm like drawing a blank.
I just got into We Are Scientists like in the last 2 weeks. That's all I've been streaming. I think all their albums.
So a lot of music. I will say on a professional note, there's so much online content available right now. Like there is so much. All these shows that you and I were going to before are reimagining themselves virtually. Advertising Week is coming up, and that's going to be one. So I think that Mirren was another. They're one of our partners. They do an agency new business summit. I think it's a great way to stay connected with people and stay connected with what's going on in the industry, because we're not going into offices. We're not learning the same way we would before. So definitely.
You saw how the drones are taking over too, right? So there's that.
Yeah, the drones are taking over. There was a story. Did you see this about a drone that walked a dog for a man in Europe?
No, it sounds great. I love it.
I thought it was fantastic. It's like an episode of Black Mirror. Black Mirror, I've been watching. That's a good one.
Oh, that's healthy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Family entertainment.
Yeah.
So, and I hear you're going to take a e-scooter ride in the next couple of days.
Yes, very excited.
Okay, so wear a helmet or be safe. Don't do any tricks. Don't do any crazy. Nothing crazy.
No.
Okay, good. No
I
drinking.
don't know what the tricks are. No ollies, no 360s. I don't know.
Wow. You got the terminology down. Wow.
Skateboarding. I don't know what they are for scooters, but
yeah, I'm sure they're very, very similar. But I just no half pipe. You know.
No half pipe. That would be awesome, though.
any recommendations for anybody looking to get into MarTech, into the industry, how they can stand out, make a name for themselves? Like you've made a name for yourself, and I love that. I always see you, and you're always up to something great, and it's great being your friend. So even though we're literally across the country from each other right now, it's great hanging out. Do you have any advice for somebody? Not that much younger, but some younger people trying to get in now during the age of COVID. How do they stand out? What would you tell them?
I would say stuff like this, like reach out to your connection. And now is the time. People are being super experimental with content, with podcasts. Winmo, we launched a podcast in the last couple months, and that's been going well. So people are being really experimental. So you don't have to be super polished. But have a podcast, do a video series, experiment with content, and the standards aren't as high as they were because everyone's experimenting right now. So I would say to people, experiment.
Sounds like college. I love it. I made you laugh. And with that, that's the end of the show. Yay. I'll have you. You're going to join me again, right?
Yes, we'll do this again for sure.
Okay, good. I saw a lag there. It's lunchtime. Everybody's buying food again. Oh gosh. They really do slow down the internet in my neighborhood.
What is this with the food and people needing to eat? It's terrible.
Mobile apps. Everybody's on their mobile app. Thank you so much, Marilyn Mead from Winmo. Ciao.
Thanks, Joel.
Bye.